programs, welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. So, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the third and final figure I have from the Worlds Collide box set. Yes, I know it is a 4-figure set. There's only 3 of them that I cared to get, as well as this one I do not have the normal release of, so we will only be looking at, the Worlds Collide. Nemesis, Optimus, Primal. And, it's funny to say, this is actually my first, real Optimus Primal figure. It both completely sells me on the whole idea of a Primal figure, but also completely proves every reason I've ever had that I didn't really care to get a Primal figure, if that makes sense. So, starting out here, he is in his Harambe mode. Nice angry face with just bright red eyes. It looks really good, actually. A lot of sculpted detail on him. Just all over the place. Tiny bit of robot bits hiding out here and there, but for the most part, really cohesive gorilla mode, actually. Fairly posable, too. There is actually a rotation joint in here. You're not going to use it much because of this flap, but you can get a little bit there. Legs can go back and forth. The feet can, bend their toes down, and they have a little bit of wiggle and stuff in them. And there's a very slight rotation right there in that part of the leg as well. Arms, you get a full rotation. Pretty sure, it's a universal joint in there. There is a butterfly joint. Arm can move out. Rotation right there for the bicep. Really deep elbow bend. Wrist rotation. The hands open. Head is... It's hard to explain the joints in the head, but, the head is posable, at least. Okay? I will put it that way. The head is posable. It just... Because it's hollow, the things it has to worry with for transformation, it can very quickly look like a decapitated gorilla. So keep that in mind. He can use his accessories in this mode, but they're definitely more meant for robot mode. And I know that I've been doing, the transformations in their own separate videos. This guy we're not going to bother because his transformation is actually kind of key to this video. And you'll see why. So to get him transformed, first thing we're going to do, take these shoulder pads and actually fold them all the way out until they pop up, and they'll actually lock over the universal joint there. Kind of hard to get the light to show it, but trust me, there's a spot that's popping over there. Go ahead, take this panel, fold it up, spin it around, and then it will tab into his back right here. Keep that in place. Go ahead and straighten out the legs. Rotate the waist around. Fold down the robot feet. Stop here if you want a half-transformed weird gorilla man. But to finish it off, all you're going to do is pull open the chest here. Take this panel, flip it around. Come in here, pull this up. Rotate it. Fold the monkey head up like that. Spin it around. Fold it down into that groove. Push that back down. And push this back down. And there you have your Nemesis Primal in his robot mode. That is very, very little transformation. Now, to be fair, if you want, there is, the optional shoulder missiles here. There's actually a little groove right here on the base of them to help you get them started and fold them out. And just close everything up and adjust them how you want. Yeah, that's, it's hard to explain, it's kind of cool that it transforms as much as it does, but we still went from like two things that are almost exactly the same. It's the same issue I had a long time ago when I looked at Optimus Minor. You know, it's like we went from, you know, a biped to a biped. It seems kind of pointless to me, but I will definitely give credit. I love the head on this figure. That head sculpt is incredible. Um, this guy having the more traditional full mouth plate and stuff is actually why I wanted the Nemesis Primal over the normal Primal. Posability wise, the head can look up and down, rotate. Little bit of tilt there, not much at all. You can angle these guns up and down. Arms are basically exactly the same as they were before. Worth noting also, if you push on this little spot here, there are little wrist cannons that can fold out, which is a nice touch as well. Just pull them out and angle them a bit. He does finally have access to his full waist rotation, as well as being able to kick forward. Back, if you move this little panel there, you can also just leave that panel folded up. I see a lot of people do that. It's how you get to his figure stand port anyway. Limited thigh swivel, but it is there. A little bit past 90 degrees at the leg, or at the knee. You still have that limited shin swivel. And you've got this little piston, actually, that goes into the foot that will move around as you pose the foot, which is actually a really neat touch. And yes, the gorilla toes just sit there and stick out. Yeah, it's weird to say, but it's like, I love this figure. I will say that off the bat. I really like this figure. Also, I keep forgetting, this figure has swords. They're red and silver. They look really neat. You can store them on his back right here. There's little tabs and slots to do that. Or just have a monkey with swords. It's hard to explain, It's like, I like this figure. I really do. I am glad that I've got it. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I also, frankly, never need another version of Optimus Primal for the rest of my life. That's not just because I'm actually calling it done with collecting, other than Starscreams. This is everything I ever expected an Optimus Primal figure to be. And it's not bad because of that. But, I can still go get Optimus figures, and it's like, yeah, well, it's just the Optimus transformation again. It still has some extra stuff to it. This has fold the legs up, change the chest, change the head. That's really all you've got here. That's all you've ever gotten with these Primal figures. And it's like, I'm not saying it's bad. Clearly, there's a lot of people who really, really like Optimus Primal. I love this Nemesis version. I think that is just awesome looking. I love the colors and the design to it. It's a cool figure. But it's a very, very pointless figure. And I guess we just have to blame whoever decided not to go with Bat Optimus for the main version and go with the Monkey Optimus instead. Also, one minor complaint to put out here, this chest piece doesn't tab in, so you just have this big hole there, and it flops back and forth. I know there's a third-party, accessory you can get that just plugs in there and fills it in. I shouldn't have to go buy that. Like, they should have molded this panel to already fit that, or at least give this a stopping point. That part's bad, but overall, it's a cool figure. I'm not going to knock it. And I would say that this box set is probably worth it. I know I haven't looked at the last figure from it. If I can find someone to loan me one, I will. I'm not too fussed about getting it. This guy was cool. Black ArcNeo, yeah, it's fun. The Bumblebee, who actually I really like so far, is my favorite version of that mold that I've gotten to mess with. But I'm gonna end it that it looks cool, it's harmless, but I'm good on Optimus Primals forever, unless something happens to this figure somehow. So, as always with these rambly, stupid videos, take it for what you will. This is just my 2 cents out there. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.